Hello and welcome back to Can We Survive the Moon? And of course, so far so good. Except the fact that we couldn't finish building out our space exploration ship. But we're almost there. So let's get started. Alright, so we did a bit of things off camera just so we can get these ion thrusters up and running. So we're missing like 18 over here. And I think we're missing a good chunk over here. About close to 160 of them. So we're waiting for the production of it. So we should be there soon, if anything. A bit of a slow process as we're still gathering platinum. Or at least not gathering, but more or less producing the platinum. Or refining the platinum. I think refineries are still working on platinum. Yeah, we are. So that's what that's all about. But yeah, how did we get the platinum, gold, and silver? Or we didn't get the silver, we got gold. We did update the gold mining drill a little bit. So this is what it's looking like. Oh, okay, never mind. It's broken. What happened? It wasn't broken when I left it, so that was interesting. So what it was supposed to be a hinge part here, or hinge into a piston into another hinge and a drill. I'm not even sure why it broke, because it wasn't even on, or at least I didn't have it on. So interesting enough that it's just broken that way. And it also had like a bit of a seat so I can control it from there. And it was done with the custom turret controllers. 2 of them. One for the elbow hinge and then the other one for the wrist hinge, as I call it. So then we were able to drill out right here in a diagonal way to get as much gold as we can. And we got a decent chunk. It wasn't a lot, honestly, but it was good enough for the time being. But I'm surprised that this is broken now after I left it alone for quite some time. So that is very, very interesting. Looks like we still got a little bit more gold to really collect on this side of things. So that's something we're going to have to continue to drill out for with this right over here. But then again, maybe we don't need to, because I did actually create a small grid ship as well. And I'll show you that in a second. But in terms of platinum, we didn't really do too much with this drill. We left it alone, and we gathered the platinum over here, more or less by hand drilling it and having the drill system all the way down there. Basically having the drill on and having platinum 4 on top of it and collect it that way, which it could work okay, but it's not the best thing, obviously. So if the cargo container here, ooh, there's still platinum here, that's good. So we can grab that platinum because we may need that anyways. I'm surprised we still actually have platinum in here, which is very interesting because I thought I was able to move them over. I guess not. Still a decent chunk of stone over there to gather. All right, it looks like everything is good and emptied out, so we can turn this thing on and just shove that thing all the way down there to collect the rest of the stone that I dropped there. I think that worked out okay. Yeah, that was a bit harsh going down, but it's fine. All right, so we'll bring it back up. Hopefully it collected all that. So the platinum we can continue to gather, which is right over here. A good decent chunk of it. Why is everything breaking? Never mind. So I was thinking of grabbing that chunk of platinum, but I think yikes. I raised it up too quickly, I guess, and it blew up. Wow, that is insane. Whoops. Luckily, well, the drills are still intact, luckily, and it didn't break. It didn't fly all the way over here to break anything, so that's, I guess, not too bad of a situation. Although that's a lot of parts right there. So we gotta figure out a way to grind that all down. But yeah, very interesting that it did that. That was super aggressive when it went going back up. And that wasn't the first time I brought it up, so I'm not sure why it broke this time around. But every time you load up the game, new possibilities happen. So I guess that's part of it. The drill system, hopefully you don't go away. I don't think it's gonna be easy to grab you quickly. So let me just throw everything in here first. And I really don't want to turn that into a grinder situation just yet. But how we're gonna do this without losing materials here. I don't think trash removal is on, so we could leave it here floating around for now until we're ready to collect it. So we should leave that. All right, so I was planning to get a little bit more stone and platinum off of there, but guess that's not the plan any longer. But then I guess we could actually turn this into a grinding machine too, because I'm collecting the thruster components pretty small increments, so it could work out. So right now I got 32 worth, so I'm just gonna shove it in here. And then we'll shove it in here, and then we're just missing a good few more here. And then we should be able to fly this thing, hopefully. Haven't tested it out yet. We should be able to test it out with this little bits of iron thrusters that are remaining, so should be okay. Yeah, we're just missing thruster components now, a good chunk of it. So hopefully I have enough. But the other problem, aside from gold and platinum, was actually cobalt. And our cobalt resources was in here, in this little cubby hole for now. So I could have made a drill system to collect it, but I didn't need to, because I decided to make a saddle type of ship with 2 drills. So a small grid ship, 2 drills, tons of small batteries that I initially put on, which I should probably forgoed and just put on 2 larger ones just to get more power out of it. So that's why they're sticking out like this. It's just an afterthought kind of situation. And a whole bunch of iron thrusters. So just 1 or 2 iron thruster wasn't enough. So I plopped on 6 for upwards thrust, as you see there. And then for forward or backward thrust. Backward thrust first is 4. Forward thrust I did not too many. I think I did 3 only. I could put 4. And then you have 3 on each side for sideways thrusting. And then downward I did 4. So a little odd numbers here and there, but could have definitely put more forward thrusters. But this is a small enough ship that we can use and gather tons and tons of materials. So this I use for the cobalt gathering, which was very useful. But we can also utilize this for the platinum gathering if necessary, and even gold, to be honest. So this thing is, again, just straight up ion thruster, so it's gonna suck up a lot of power. And it's rather slow because it doesn't have that much thrust just yet. I mean, eventually we should add that all in there, more thrust. We should have really did a hydrogen style one, but then we're gonna add a small or large tank that will probably get in the way as well. I mean, the ship could have just been 2 drill arms, some batteries, a connector to recharge, and that would be more than sufficient. But it would carry very little material, so I wanted to avoid that by adding a medium cargo container, which we could have added a little bit more too. Alright, so as you see here, this is where the platinum is, but I don't really like drilling for platinum because it gathers a lot of stone, which is crazy. That's a very wiggly screen on the saddle with the drill system. And we could just look at the kgs. So if we get about 30,000 kgs worth, we're pretty heavy and full. So that's one way to kind of tell how much material we have left in the system. Or that's one way to tell if we're going to be encumbered or not, basically, with stone or other material. So if we look at the inventory, you see here, it's so little platinum that we gather. About a K of platinum, and the rest is basically, ooh, I think I gathered way too much. And the rest is stone. So I'm not sure why it kind of gathers that way. I guess it's a very small pancake of platinum. I mean, it's not too bad. Okay, this is not a good sign because we are falling down. So we definitely need to get rid of some stone here before we crash land. All right, we are about 30 kg, so we're 28. And now we're able to lift off. Okay, so that was really, really bad. A bit too much stone. But again, I have so little platinum on this thing just from that drilling session, which was a short, very, very short drilling session, obviously, but still, you would expect to gather a little bit more, but I got mostly stone. So I gotta, if anything, I should filter it out to drop stone from the connector, so then we can just gather the appropriate platinum that way, and all the stone could just drop on the ground. Doesn't really matter, but yeah, not much we could do about it now. We're just gonna gather all the stone anyways, since we could use the materials as well. I mean, we don't really need a lot of it, but always useful to have. And I realized I should have put yield mods on the refineries before I started collecting a lot more platinum, gold, and all that junk. So that way we could have gotten more out of it. But yeah, that's a loss. Okay. We're a bit too heavy. So getting to the 30k mark in terms of weight, it's a bit too much for this thing. So probably should stop at maybe 25, but that's like barely anything. But this is still good enough in terms of getting materials, to be honest. Or at least refining the platinum. Yeah, so there's still some refineries doing the platinum, so that's good. All right, so we should be able to get enough ion thruster parts really soon, actually. Yeah, we should be getting there quite soon. So in the meantime, I think I'm going to build something a little bit interesting. So let's see if we can do it. We can get rid of this. And we can get rid of this seat here if we need to. But I think more or less we're going to utilize this side. All right, so we'll throw it all in here for now, like this, I think. All right, we're going to do wheels. We can utilize... short wheels. Let's do short. We want, of course, off wheel. We could do 3x3, I believe. Do I have that already? Yes, I do. Okay, so here's our left on this side. Which way's up again? I always forget how this looks in terms of what's up and what's down. I think it's this way. Nope, I was wrong. All right, what is to tell me which way is which again? That little dot. Yeah, that little dot over there. And by little dot, I mean that little thing right there on the top right now. We'll put on the bottom, so that's the bottom piece. All right, so that is what I was planning to do initially. Now the problem is I definitely need some other pieces here too. So let's just do this, a helm, and you can guess what we're making here. And there you go. So can you guess what that is? It's basically our very own, oh, can't really see from here, little bit of a space or moon Segway. Definitely should have put a battery here actually. So can I still scrap this? Yes, I could. Perfect. We'll put a little tiny battery here. I'm not a big fan of putting tiny batteries, but in this case, we're going to have to. And we could fill it with more batteries right over here on the side. It wouldn't be too bad, would it? Not necessarily. I don't think we can use too much batteries in this case. But we could do something like that and add another battery here. Just to give it a little bit more power. We definitely don't need that much power for something like this anyways, but good to do it that way. And then back here, we can add a little bit more too. But we also need to add in some gyroscopes. So gyroscopes, actually we could put it right up front if we want to be in front. Wouldn't be that bad. We have gyroscopes right here. So it could be right here, or one here and one in the front, one in the back. We could do that. Yeah, I think we do that. One in the front, one in the back. That would make a little bit more sense for the time being. So, oop. And the only reason why we need to do this with a gyroscope is so we can have one on override, one on not, so it's easier to maneuver it. And then here's the same thing. We could add another battery. We can make it the same exact design in the front and back, like that. All right. Only one thing I want to do. Oh, we can't. Actually, we can't put it in the back because we can only put it up to here. That's not good. Well, we could put it right there as well, which wouldn't be a big problem. And then we also have another problem where I was planning to put a connector. Where can I put this other gyroscope? I guess we could put two gyroscopes up here in front, if anything. That would probably be the better bet. It should have been kind of like this right over here. But it looks like now it's going to be floating because it's sitting out there. Well, still not that bad looking. All right, so we do the two gyroscopes here. One's looking down, one's looking up. That's fine. And then we could plug in more batteries here because we can't really do much back here. We could put a connector right over here on that block. Once this thing kind of falls down. Is 2 batteries even enough? I mean, they're just wheels, so we shouldn't be wasting too much power. But again, the gyroscope might be the problem in terms of power. So we'll cut that off. That's going to fall down the way it should fall down. And either we put another battery here and then put a connector, or we just do a connector. I mean, we could just do this actually. Just put in 2 batteries or even 3 batteries first, and then we'll do a connector. Should we do it that way? I don't know. I mean, this is just more or less for me to play around with to drive around the base. It's nothing that we're gonna really use in other ways. And then we should get the small connector somewhere on here. So it'll be like that maybe, or do we stick it out by all the way up to here? If we stick out maybe 2 all the way up to here. It's a possibility. We could do that. And then we could definitely add another battery right there, which would be a little bit more helpful in terms of having power. Might as well, I guess, right? It would make more sense to do that way. And then I don't know, either we do a half block here or something just to keep it going. So that there you go. That is basically a bit of a Segway for you. All right, so we can easily pick this thing back up, as you see here. And that is basically what I was gonna make just for base purposes. And I guess with the connector like that, we could let it sit like that too. Yeah, that could work, I guess. A bit on the ridiculous side, but it works. How much power is in here? I didn't even check. 7 hours of power. Not too bad. I mean, they're not fully filled up right now anyway. So if I threw in another power or small battery right over here, we could probably get a little bit more power out of it. Yeah, it looks like we can get 1 hour per small battery, so that's not too bad. All right, perfect. So now the other piece here is we can add connectors here, small connectors, so then we can charge this thing whenever we need to. Because we should have a way to charge this up. And hopefully that's enough right there to kind of park it. I would hope so, at least. Oh, why did that just speed up so quickly? Oh, we need to lower the what's it call it? The torque or the power on this thing. There's a bit of a delay because I think it's kind of floating potentially, or it doesn't have enough grip for whatever reason. But there you go. We have our moon or space Segway for us to play around with. So here we can charge it up if we need to, but actually I guess set up the small batteries. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not too bad, actually. We'll take the grouping of the batteries to do recharge on and off, so we can always recharge this thing. But 8 hours right now is not too bad. Wheel-wise, we need to fix this. We don't need that much power on here. Speed-wise, we probably don't need too much speed as well. Let's just say 100. For now, height offset, strength, I usually use 12 for whatever reasons. There's a little bit of a, there was a little bit of a rubber banding, but that was only because of that. But yeah, we got a bit of a motion going here, and it climbs up that pretty well. No thrusters on this thing, obviously, but kind of works out pretty good. Question, what happens if I do turn off the override on off in this case? So now there's just 2 gyroscope on here. Still works out okay. Nope. Does not work out that great. All right, let's put that gyroscope back on. All right, that works a little bit better, but it's a little bit too quick like that. And now I got to remember how to adjust this so it doesn't go too crazy. Shoot, I don't remember how to do that. It was lowering the power of one of these or something like that. Yeah, if I lowered it like that, that's too much. I forget what it was. Was it the opposite one that we need to lower for it to work out? Yeah, it was the opposite one. But then here, it's a little bit of a slower tilt and turn, if anything. So don't lower the power for the override one, if I remember correctly. Okay, so we do 30. Yeah, I think that's good enough. 30 power will get our spin. And our pitch, yaws, and everything we can use out of it. And yeah, that's smooth. And we can hop this thing if we need to, holding X. Not much of a hop, but yeah, not much of a hop. But we got our space Segway just to move around the base ever so slightly. Mall cop style, I guess. And we just play around with this. Just travel a little bit, do what we need to with it. I mean, it's just a ridiculous thing to do, but might as well make it and play around while we wait. But it does give us the opportunity to go back and forth to get to the different mining stations here. Although a small ship would probably get us a little bit faster, to be honest. But since we had the time, might as well try to make it. So there you go. A small little Segway-like vehicle. Ooh, this is gonna be bad. Ooh. All right, that's a problem. Well, I guess not much of a problem. Didn't expect to be able to get through there. It's a small vehicle, yes, but it's still a bit of a problem in terms of height. But I like how we can just climb this like this. Straight. That's very, very interesting. All right. I wish the connectors were actually in the front. So I can actually park it into like this instead of going into it backwards like this. But as you can see, not too bad anyways. But yeah. Yep. We're gonna get right there. Put it in like that and just charge it up if we need to. But yeah, fun stuff, right? A little bit of a Segway. Easy build. Also, couple batteries, 6 batteries, 2 gyroscopes, helm, and connectors. You don't need 2. One's more than enough, but I decided to do 2 just so it kind of acts like a kickstand. Alright, so with that all done, do we now have enough for our thruster components? I highly doubt it, but we'll see. Nope. We were only able to make 2? No, I have 19 here. Okay, good. Yeah, that's not good. Somewhere we stopped because we ran out of gold. This is gonna take forever to make, unfortunately. We still have some gold here. Small car container. Where is that? Because it can't get refined. Where is this small car container? It is part of the base somewhere, and it's stuck. Is it this one? It is, right? Why is this not connected to anything is beyond me. It's because of this. That's why. Our testing of our bottle exchange program is our downfall. So we're gonna have to put a conveyor junction here. There you go. That should get the gold out and into a refinery, I hope. And it was enough just to make one, so shoot. All right, we need to go drilling for some gold, unfortunately. So we can easily do that with our ship. Luckily, we made the ship, so it's easier to do what we need to do. Although we do need to grab that drill back up. Right over here. Or at least the piston arm needs to go back up. So let me just do that really quick. All right. Although we can't get too much, so that's another problem. I'll bring that up. That thing goes up pretty quickly too, and it didn't break. Okay, so the hole is right here. Right? Is this big enough hole for me to get into? Yes. And small enough ship for us to do this. I'm going down a little too quickly, but it's fine. Right, this one should be able to give us a lot of gold and less stone, hopefully. I think it's more or less we've been drilling on this side, but whatever. This looks a little bit more abundant in terms of gold versus stone. Let's just gather this really quickly. And you would think by the time we're hit this point in time, we have all the materials and everything like that. But nope, we still lack materials for good reasons. So it's interesting that we keep trying to build too much when we don't even have all the necessities yet. Okay. That's filled, and decent chunk of gold. Again, I would prefer to not hold so much stone, and I should just sort it and filter it out instead of letting it gather. So, and now the point is that when we gather, we gotta ship back out right over there, which is still a little bit quicker than what we were doing before. All we did before was control the arms, drill out what we need to drill out, collect the gold, and then take the large ship, the hydrogen ship, bring it over there, connect and grab the gold, and then bring it back and drop off the gold. So definitely more steps doing it that way versus doing it this way. So this wouldn't be too bad. All right, we need to slow down here without breaking anything. I'm flying way too close to what I want to or how I want it to go. I'm surprised that I didn't break anything today, the ship, but unfortunately we did break the drill system somehow. But yeah, so here is again a quick little drill system that works out pretty well for us, and we should have it refine the gold as quickly as we can. So it should be gold everywhere. Yep, perfect. That should be fairly quick. And we're missing like 2 thrusters right now, right? That should go by quickly. And eventually we're gonna have to do some SPRT hunting too. Why not, right? Okay, we got 23 here, 8 here. We got a good chunk of it actually. That was actually pretty quick. There we go. That's that. We're missing about 30. Well, a little less than 30, but very close. Let's see. We got 30. We got 10. That's pretty decent. We didn't actually charge up everything on the ship as well. There's some batteries in here that I could have set it up for recharge, but I can't really see or get to them. Well, I guess we could get to them. So this one would be on recharge, so we can get as much power as possible out of this thing. And this SV charge as well. Should have done this a lot sooner, because now it's telling me that it's going to take 14 hours to do. So we'll touch the magic red button, turn on the hydrogen engines, and produce more power, more or less, out of this thing here, because this is the only one that has 2 bars of hydrogen, and the rest has little to nothing in there, unfortunately. So we're going to run the... Yikes, yeah, we're going to run out of ice fairly soon, so we're going to have to go out and collect some more. But this ship is looking pretty decent. It's not great based on color, obviously, but it's not too bad. I'm going to do some kind of light bluish color this time around. See if that kind of works out okay. And then we'll just color what we need to color, which is going to be more or less the outer pieces, like so. And then in here as well, just, it looks like a baby blue color, I guess you can call it, just to give it that extra design, because just pure white look does not really work, unfortunately. All right, we need to color that back up. Actually, you know what, I'm just gonna mimic it. Why not? All right, the bottom needs some help. This one, we'll just do this. Same with this one. We'll leave that one. We should get, yep, the top pieces right here, and right here colored as well. And that should be good enough for now, I think. Nope, we probably want to color that one. All right, there you go. Nice little baby bluish colored ship. Works out okay. Not the best, but good enough. And yeah, I like the look of this thing. I did a little bit of adding a bit of a design up here with using these light armor slope blocks, and it's working out okay. We do need to cover this up again. Let's get my regular blocks here. There we go. So that's the top. Bottom is looking like this for whatever reasons, and I could incorporate that whole wheel thing on here as well, so we could use the short ones and throw it on here like that, just for a look, I guess. Actually, that doesn't look too bad, to be honest. So we're just gonna plop that there, and then we could plop one. Where did I just throw that one? Yeah, threw it right there. Could throw one right there, and potentially right here as well. Ow, ow, ow. What was that? I didn't need the wheel to be built. I don't know why I built it. And then it just got fried by the ion thruster, I think. Okay, so we'll throw in these suspensions. We're not going to need the wheel, as I mentioned. And again, that's just more or less for a look. All right, perfect. That's going to give a bit of a look in the bottom. Feel like we could put more of those, but it should be good enough for now. Yeah, it should be good. All right, do we now have more thruster components? We do. I think we have enough. 40 right there. Perfect. Ship is now ready for exploration, I hope. Okay, let's double check our inventory. We're good in oxygen here. We're good in hydrogen. Perfect. Another reason for that is we do need to put some oxygen in this ship too. So we do need to unhook this thing off of this as well, and then put in a connector somewhere. Well, maybe I borrow this connector if anything. So let's just do that. Let's just move this move this hydrogen ship off of it really quickly. But before we do that, let's go empty out the inventory. Okay, that's looking good. We'll unhook there. We'll bring this a little bit further back and drop it. And we'll just power it off to save some batteries. And we should be able to release this and still have some kind of flight, because there's more batteries on there that's not on recharge. So we should be okay, I hope. Let's find out. Yep, we are good to go there. All right, get into the little bit of a cockpit here. Batteries. I guess we'll call this a scout. With scout batteries. So some of these on recharge. I'm gonna have to set them all on auto for now. How much we have? 3 hours of flight only. It's just, that's terrible for what it is right this moment. Yikes. Not a lot of power whatsoever for this thing, is there? Ooh, 3 to 2 hours flying it, 30 minutes. Yeah, this thing definitely needs a good long charge before we go flying anywhere, it looks like. All right, connector right here, switch lock as always. Scout batteries, recharge on off. Thrusters. All thrusters are necessary, but the backwards one will type in as the brakes. Here's the gas for throttle forward. Actually, we would call it throttle. I'm not sure why we're calling gas, especially if it's a ship. And this is the brakes. So we can have that set up in the front. Toggle that on off. Toggle this one on off. And get in there and recharge. Alright, so that should work out okay. So these batteries itself, where is it? Right here. Let's see. 14 minutes to fully recharge. Right now the stored power, not too much. I mean, the maximum we can store is 3 megawatt hours. It looks like we're about 1 only on that one, and the rest are less than that. All right, this one's fully stored. That's good. All right, so we could potentially get maybe what, 5 hours, 6 hours, pushing it maybe. I don't know. Seems a bit odd in terms of how much power we can get out of that thing, unfortunately. All right, so lots of flying parts everywhere because we flung that drill system. Yeah. All right, so here's another good reason for having these collected up front, but it does take a little bit longer to do this though. So if you want to drop off everything, we could still do that. It is easy going there, but obviously it's not as easy as me getting to a port and grabbing some stuff out, dumping stuff that way. So that's our little issues here and there with this whole system. All right. Even though this is all charging and everything, oh, we forgot to do one thing actually. Let me unrecharge this and unhook so I can tell what's what. Our oxygen tank. Ooh, we don't need this oxygen tank. Right here, we'll do stockpile on off. That should be good. And this whole vent thing is gonna be an issue as well if we don't decompress it first. So the vents we will do right here to do depressurize on off. So right now it's on. So let's just off and let's put it on. We'll stockpile the oxygen if we can. We don't need too much. Oh, we need to connect first. All right, there we go. Oxygen. Here we go. We get in some oxygen. We don't need too much. I think we'll just do 50% of anything. I think that's more than enough. And we should be oxygen friendly here. Yes, we are. We can take our mask off and everything and be safe for a good long travel and not have to worry about oxygen while we're in space. So there we go. That works out really good. We'll recharge, put depressurization on, and get freely come out. Perfect. We got our scout ship decently. All right, so there's still some things that are missing, design purposes, like something like this here. I don't know what to put here. We'll find something hopefully. Looks like we have a decent block that covers this up pretty decently. And I'm not sure if there's a reverse side of this one. I think there was, and I was playing around with it earlier for that side, right? There. Yeah, there's a bit of a difference there. Perfect. And here we could do, I guess, this to match. That'll work. All right, so we kind of made this into a very plain looking like thing as well, similar to that right there. I guess this is kind of the concept, or not concept, but like the common design for now. And this does remind me of Star Wars in terms of a symbol, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we probably should plug in some lights as well, because we will bring this in space and everything like that too. But we definitely don't want to forget the ore detector as well. Now, where I'm going to put an ore detector, who knows at this point. We should probably put it up front, but we do have room to put it on the tail end right over here as well. So I am inclined to do that. Let's just put it in the back, right over here. Why not? It sticks out in a really, really weird way, but it's better to have it like that than not have one at all, to be honest. So yeah. And come to think of it, we probably don't need that much power because we're not even going that far. We want to do a first exploration into space, a space station right over there. It's only 3.72 kilometers away, which is not that bad. Another one at 7. That one's a little bit further, but that could waste a little bit more power. This one, not so much. We could change this out a little bit here. If we're putting this there like that. So we can just do this instead. Why not? Yeah, we can change all this around. Extend it out a little bit more to make more sense out of all this. And there we go. That should work. Ooh, need some steel plates. All right, so there's little to no cargo in here, so that's the biggest problem we're gonna have. Well, actually, we do. We have a small cargo container. Actually, I forgot about that. It's in here somewhere, so we should be okay. All right, perfect. We'll carry this little chunks of steel plate with us just in case we need to fix something up. But I think we should be okay, actually. All right, we unhook the recharge. Unhook the connector. We got 4 hours of flight now. It's not too bad. So the batteries, let's see, where are they at now? Some of these are fully recharged and some are not. Most of them are. This works out okay. So can I see anything through this view? Barely. Which isn't too bad. All right, the gyroscope power might be a little too much. Usually 0.5 will do. Well, I feel like for some reason this thing needs a little bit more than that, so let's just do 0.75. Yeah, that works a little bit better. All right, perfect. Yep, so we don't need that much power in our batteries to get here, so let's just see if we push ourselves there really quickly. And of course, we could turn off our backwards thrust to save on power. And of course, we get an hour of flight if we do this, so that's not too bad. And here is how we want to save power, is slightly tap forwards as we need to. But we're basically coming out of the gravity well too, so that's not too bad. But I think, yeah, we should be completely out of gravity well once we get to the station, unless it is part of the gravity well, which would be pretty interesting. And it looks like it might be. All right, we gotta pump the brakes on, and we're not slowing down enough or fast enough because we only got 2 backward thrusters versus 4 forward thrusters. Perfect. All right, so as high as we are now, we are actually out of the gravity well. So that's interesting. All right, so can we even park this here? Ow. Nope. We missed the mark ever so slightly with connector. Can we? Yeah. Well, that stinks. We can't park it like that over there, but we could definitely park it over here. Do we need to even park it? Probably not, to be honest. But why not? What's interesting, you see the light coming out of the ship, which is basically me. Or my spacesuit's flashlight or whatever. That's actually bright enough to kind of see anyways. But yeah, all right, so we'll just dock this thing in a really, really weird way. Although, it can't recharge out of it, so it is what it is. All right, what station is this? Oop. We are kind of still in the gravity well, right? What just happened there? I felt like I was falling for some reason, but we're not, so we should be okay. Oh look, I didn't even know that they had a upwards one. Connector going from the top. Interesting. So this looks like to be a pretty interesting faction logo. We're gonna come back to surviving as a trader at this point. Anything here? Nope. Anything here? Pretty much junk that we can take, but I don't have no room right now, so that's fine. Of course, we can always check all the freights, all the beds, and everything like that. And all right, we don't have any AI in here, so it's a bit lonely station. Versus what? Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know they put the pictures there. Yeah, it's a lonely station without anybody here whatsoever. Plain cola for a store. Interesting. Where's the beds and everything like that? It looks like it might be up here. Do we need to go to the beds? No, but I wanted to see if there's any money in there. And yes, there is. We got ammo in here too, which we have enough space to gather. That's good. Here's a timer. Jukebox, bathroom. So the single bed situation here. Solo occupied station. Interesting. And this was the exit. All right. So what's down here then? Here's a bathroom. Ooh, there's several floors here. Several floors of bathroom. All right, here we go. We got more beds. Wow, right there. We got 12K of 12K of space credits. Oop, even more here. 15K of space credits, and I can't fill up anymore. Anything interesting in here? Grinders. All right. If I threw in, I don't think I could throw in anything in there. There's 4K worth of money in there, which we should probably grab out of it. Let's see. Is this another bet? Yep, it is. What's in here? Drill. More money here. That's a lot of space credits just sitting in these beds for whatever reasons. Basically, all the beds there have some kind of money, so that's very interesting. Where is the ATM actually? Right here. Well, we don't need the ATM. We could do store and everything like that as well. Yeah, we could do that. We have 15K worth of money, so we do cash back. What's that? 599. So now our account balance 25,599 space credit. And what can we buy from the store? Things that we already have. What we don't have is the ammos and such. Ooh, we could buy this eventually, but we don't have enough for that. But we could get this. There are superconductors in here. No uranium, so that's interesting. So this is a components type of store or economy base, so that's not too bad. If we are desperate for money, we could always do these. So we have acquisitions to do, which is not the biggest money maker here, except for making gravity components, which and thrust components, which we already struggle trying to accomplish those. There's escort missions, hauling missions, repair missions. So yeah, that's not too crazy. And then search missions. And we know search missions are fairly easy to do if we chain them and fly pretty quickly with it. So we could actually potentially do that to make a quick space credits there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Average about, I would say 40,000 each. A little bit more than that. But that would be like 120, 130 maybe, potentially, of space credits just by doing all those, if anything. Should we do that? Probably. I don't see why we should not try to do that to get more money. So you purchase stuff instead of make stuff, especially like superconductors. That'd be nice to kind of buy instead of trying to get the gold and slowly get that going and such. But yeah, I mean, ammo is a good thing to buy too. I mean, but we do have gravel and magnesium else somewhere in the vicinity. So yeah, it's a lot. It's like, should we do it? Should we not do it? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, we could always get these things here and grind it down or dismantle it, or buy these and dismantle for parts too. We could definitely come here to get more hydrogen if we need to. Although they're not really carrying much anyways. But yeah, it's more or less the superconductor. That's where it's like pricey, and that makes a lot more sense to buy these things too. I mean, eventually we could buy it. Wouldn't be too bad. Might not change it up a little bit and do some quick contracts. Might as well, as we should really start building out the base a little bit more. But let's change it up. Let's do a quick search. Ah, that stinks. There's not much search. It just reset it on us, so now we only got 1, 2, 3 of them left. But they're high priced ones, so that's not too bad. So I'm gonna accept these right here, and we're gonna hope we have enough power to do all this and collect our funding from it. Okay, so if we're planning out the course, we have 14, 14, and 11. So we go to 11 and then 14, I think, is the best way to go about this. So turn off the brakes so we can fly forward faster. And we're aiming right there. I'm gonna aim a little low because we don't want to run into it like we always do when it comes to looking for these things with a larger ship. All right, it looks like it is located right over here. So what's great about having this whole targeting system is that we can easily spot it, versus back then without the targeting system, which would take forever to spot these things. Okay, so just floating right past it, unfortunately. Yeah, we're going way too fast, and we didn't get close enough, I guess. And we just went right past it. There we go. So we grab that one. Then we gonna grab this one. And then we'll grab the next one, and should be good to go from there. course, one way to stop, one of the best ways to stop, or quickest way to stop, is actually to just crash right into it. So, yeah. Alright, this might not be the same base as the one that we saw near our base, because our base is... Actually, no. It could be. It's another beacon all the way over there. That's 9 away, versus where our base is just down here, 7 away. Huh. That's just another base, it looks like. This base actually has a bit of a thruster and everything like that. That's pretty interesting. This is the same exact looking base. Interesting enough. Where's the difference here? We got pistols in here this time, so that's worth it. Pretty sure we can find tons and tons of cash as well in these beds and everything like that, but we're not going to do that just yet. We're going to check out the store. Ooh, it's a ship purchasing store. That's always worth it. So here we got a bit of a miner for 1 mil. That's not too bad. We're just going to have to gather a lot more credits to get these things if we want it. So interesting enough, we found a ship store. I like this. We can do a lot with these economy bases in terms of making money and all that stuff, and they're not too far from base either, so that's a good thing. The only thing we're missing here is a mining economy base. That would be worth a lot to me, in the sense that it'll be helpful to buy materials in terms of ores and such, or ingots, instead of mining as much as we can off the moon. I mean, mining is probably better because it's free, but if we could find easy, fast cash, like we could do just those searches, that could work out too. But it does take a little bit longer as well. But all right, so I think we're just gonna fly back to base. No point in exploring the other SMEG base, because right here is the same one. SMEG, yeah, there's 2 SMEG bases, and they're both ship selling econ bases, which is not too bad. But yeah, let's fly back and pretty much call it from there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, the finishing of the ship, and also making that moon or slash space Segway. Don't forget to like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, and yeah. Alright, so don't forget to like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, even to just say hi. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.